Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome to one and all of you to another session arranged by the Minara Chamber of Commerce based in Durban. Today it gives us great pleasure to host Mohammed Asmal of Asmal Digital. Mohammed describes himself as a specialist where in the field of digital marketing, and some of his case studies are quite interesting and important. But basically, what I understand digital marketing to be is that you're going to use the digital platform to continue marketing your business as it is the most recent and new platform that we are now all using as opposed to the traditional platforms. So in his business, he's helped to service many businesses that are owner operated and have been online for at least 2 years to get the most out of their online effort. So without further ado, I hand over to Mohammed Asmal of Asmal Digital. Mohammed, Assalamu alaikum, you're welcome.
Salam. Yeah. Jazakallah for having me, firstly. And also, I want to apologize for the other night. It was a technical error on my side that we couldn't do this, and I appreciate your rescheduling it for me. So I want to get straight into it because we've got a lot to cover. And what is digital marketing? Firstly, the goal of digital marketing is to get someone to know you, like you, and trust you. Because once they know you, like you, and trust you, then they are likely to try your services, buy your services, repeat buy your services, and refer you to others. That's all we want. We just want to build trust so that we can take them to the next action that we want them to take. And how do we build trust? The easiest way, the best way to build trust is to create value first. The biggest mistake that most of us make is we immediately try to, if someone has never heard of us before and we meeting them first time on the internet, for example, and we telling them buy our services, buy, but they don't even know who we are, and immediately we want to tell them to buy. So that's why if we lead with value first, then when we are going to offer them something at a later stage, then they are more likely to take us up on that offer. And I think many of us don't even know the value of digital marketing or the power of it. You know, Bill Gates once said that if your business is not on the internet, then your business will be out of business. I know Bill Gates is a controversial figure at the moment, but what he said is true. And he said this around 20 years ago. It's still true in 2021, but just being on the internet is not enough anymore because the internet is so crowded. So we have to stand out from the rest. And how do we stand out? The easiest way to stand out is to actually create a kind of omnipresence online so that we have to be everywhere online. Previously, we could get away with, example, we only had a website and that would have been enough, or we were only on social media and that would have been enough. But now we have to be everywhere online. So that's why I'm going to share with you a framework that if we take care of these simple 5 things, we can create an omnipresence online for our business, and we can use it to grow our business. Remember the other night as well, I mentioned that the same 5 things that we do for one of our clients who has an average customer value of 250,000 Rand. And where before they were working with us, they used to get 0 leads online. And now, since they're working with us, they consistently have on average 3 leads per day. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I want you to see the value of digital marketing. I want you to just contemplate something. Digital marketing is allowing us to encourage someone to make a buying decision for 250,000 Rand. I just want you to let that sink in so you can understand the power of digital marketing. And the strange thing is, unfortunately, most of us are not even taking advantage of it. Or even if we are doing something, we're not doing it properly. Everyone knows its value, but still we're not taking advantage of it. It's similar to, like if you want to lose weight, you have to be consistent, you have to be patient. So the same thing with digital marketing is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. But the main thing is we need to be patient and we need to be consistent so that we can take the maximum benefit from digital marketing. And what is also very important is our messaging. Because when we are talking to someone online, we are interacting with people online, our ultimate goal is we want the end user to feel that we are talking exactly to them. Because once we get them to feel that way, then we want the internet, because everything they're going to think is we are talking exactly to them. So that's why our messaging is very important, and the way that we give out our message. Just a few words can change the whole meaning of any statement. To give you another example, Donald Trump, when he was running for president, before he was even elected for president, what was his main slogan? His main slogan was, "Let's make America great again." Now, just one word, that word again, has a powerful meaning, because what it did, it gave people hope and it made them think that America was once great and all he's going to do is going to make it great again. Had he left out that word again, had he just said, "Let's make America great," then the people would have had less hope. They would have thought that America was never great, and now he's going to help them to make it great. So just one word, just by adding again in the statement, it changed the whole meaning of his slogan and his statement. So that just shows us the power of messaging. So I want to go straight into it because I've got a lot to cover, and I want to show you real life examples of what we do and how we do it as well. So I'm just going to share my screen. Amina, if you can enable me to share my screen. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now I'm sharing my screen. So this is what we're going to cover today. We're going to try and finish as much as possible. And the first thing is we need a website, and every business has to have at least one funnel within their website. The second thing is we want to have a Google My Business listing. This is one of the most underutilized digital marketing strategies. And I'm going to show you how powerful it is just now. The third thing is search engine optimization, SEO. The fourth thing is social media marketing. And the fifth thing is email marketing. So if we take care of these 5 things, then we can create an omnipresence online. So I'm just going to go into, this is one of my client sites, iSight Computers, and he does manage IT services. So the first thing I mentioned was a website. So the first thing with regards to a website is it has to load fast. If your site doesn't load fast, what's going to happen is the person that's coming to your site, firstly, they're not going to wait so long. And then what's going to end up happening? They're going to go over to your competitors. Now, just like how the other night I had a problem with my internet where I couldn't even present this presentation. So now we already know that South Africa, we have a problem with internet. And then on top of that, if you're going to have a slow loading website, it's going to make the whole experience even slower. And people are definitely going to leave. They're not going to stay around because people don't have time anymore. So the next thing with importance to your website is you need to have an SSL certificate. So what is an SSL certificate? If you see here in the URL, next to it, there's a small lock. And if I click on this lock, now it says connection is secure. So it says your information, for example, passwords or credit card numbers is private when it is sent to the site. But I'll give you an example of another site that doesn't have an SSL certificate. So see here, now next to the URL, there's a warning and it says not secure. And if we click on this, it says your connection to this site is not secure. You should not enter any sensitive information on this site, for example, passwords or credit cards, because it could be stolen by attackers. So immediately this is a red flag. And if someone wanted to do business with you, and if they see something like this, they'll be put off. So that's why we want to have an SSL certificate. And SSL certificates are cheap. Most hosts even give it for free now, but even if you have to pay for it, it's around 250 or 350 rand per year. Okay, the next important thing is our messaging. So you see this space that we are landed on now. This is the most valuable real estate on any website because this is the space that will be viewed the most. So when someone lands here, it's our duty to tell them exactly who we are, what we do, what problem we're going to solve for them, and how we're going to solve it. Now, this is a very small space, but that's where, again, our wording is going to come into play. We have to use our wording very carefully and get the message across. So for example, in this example, first you can see the logo. So it's saying it's iSight Computers. The second thing is he's saying that this is what he does, manage IT services for your South African SMB. And what problem is he solving? He's helping businesses to save on stress, risk, and cost with an outsourced IT solution that keeps your business up and running 24/7. And then he's saying, how are we going to do it? We proactively protect, monitor, and manage your IT system so you can manage your business while we manage your IT. So as you can see in the small space, we've given everyone exactly who we are, what we do, and who we serve. And another thing you'll notice in this messaging, it's not being very technical, because if he was being technical, or if we were being technical with the wording, and we were going to start talking about servers and whatever else IT people talk about. Now, the owner knows all those things, but the person who is targeting doesn't know that. So we don't, our wording and our messaging mustn't be technical. So we should rather talk about futures instead of features. But what we do, the biggest mistake, we tell them that our company, for example, has the latest machinery, or it's 20 years, 30 years in business, whatever. Instead of our messaging telling the audience how we're going to help them. So instead of selling features, we should rather sell futures of how we're going to benefit the end user. Then you'll see on this page, firstly, the phone number is clearly visible, email is clearly visible. But besides that, it's also a click to call. What a click to call means is, because I'm on a desktop, it's saying make a call from here. But if I was on a phone, as soon as I click this, what would have happened is it would have automatically started dialing from my phone. So you're making the user experience as easy as possible. And what's going to happen is Google is actually going to reward you for that, because they take user experience very seriously. Same thing with the email address. It's click to email. So if you click it, automatically go to your email client and start sending the email. And why we want to do this also is because before, we'll actually have to remember the number and then put it into our phone and then dial. So we are trying to take out extra steps. So when we make the user experience as easy as possible. And next very important thing, and something I should have mentioned even before, is your website today has to be mobile responsive. People are viewing websites more on their phones than any other device. So if I show you here, see what I've done now is I've actually changed the size of the screen. And as you can see, as I'm changing it, the site is changing according to the screen size. So I'm making it easily accessible and visible for any size of device. As you can see here, they can easily interact with the site, and everything is still visible. So mobile responsiveness is a must. You have to do it. There's no two ways about that. Then the next thing is, as you can see here, there are clear call to actions. What a call to action is, you'll see contact us is actually highlighted in red, because that is the action we want the user to take next. You must remember, when someone comes to your site, they don't know what to do next. So it's our duty. we have to actually hold their hand and tell them that this is the next step we want you to take. Or in this case, there's more than one step. So we're going to tell them that these are the next steps, or these are the options you have. So as you'll see, I've got more than one call to action on the small space. See, there's another one here, schedule a free consultation, another one for services, another one for contact us. All these are call to actions. We are highlighting them because subconsciously, when the user lands here, he'll be attracted to this more than these normal about us, services, blog, free assessment. So that's why we want to have clear call to action, and there's no harm in having more than one. Even if you see here, this red button says contact us, will take you to the contact page. And at the bottom here, there's a blue button that also says contact us, and it's going to take us to the exact same page. But why we're doing this is different people use the internet differently. So some people might be attracted to a red button. Other people might be attracted to this blue button. So whatever it is, we want to cater for as many people as we can. Then the next thing is your navigation. So general, this is all websites will have this. Generally, they have a home, about us, services, blog, free assessments as the client has, and contact us. Now, blog. Your blog is very important because your blog can actually be something that can make you stand out from your competitors. And it can position you as an authority in your industry. So for example, if I go to this blog, the same eyesight blog, as you can see here, they got lots of posts, see February 4th, February 3rd, January 19th. So for every month, there's plus minus 2 posts. So what this is doing now, it's actually positioning himself as an authority in his industry. Because obviously, only someone who knows or if someone is a specialist in the industry, they will have so much of content. And content is always king. If you don't have content, you can't do any marketing. So let's carry on with the website. So even if we scroll down now on the site, so here we are telling people what we do, more about what we do. But as you'll see, throughout the page, like here, there's another call to action. We got clear call to actions. So all over, we are giving them options and we are telling them what to do next. And another thing you'll notice is, as I'm scrolling, can you see that this navigation bar is staying with me? Why we do this is, so say for example, if someone is at this part, see here, there's some testimonials. So this testimonials now is building trust as well. So say example, someone was here and now they've built the trust and now they want to contact him. So by having these contact details clearly visible throughout the page, we're making it as seamless as possible for the user to get into contact with us. And even if we scroll down further, you'll see there's more call to actions. But what I want to show you as well is, see right at the bottom of the page, we've got a contact form. Now this contact form is on each and every page. Here again, we are putting user experience first, and we are trying to make it as seamless as possible for the end user. So if they reach so far down the page and they came here and say example, they were still confused, not sure whether to contact us or not. This firstly is going to encourage them to contact us because they can see it's easy. They don't have to click on contact us, give them another step, then go to look for the form, then fill it in. They can do it right from here. So that's the reason why we have a contact form on each and every page. And here as well, with his address, if you click on it, it's actually going to take you directly to Google Maps so people can easily find his business. Now, for other clients as well, since this is a client, he does concrete road barriers. So you can see the same setup we've used here as well. His name, here we even added his name, phone number, email address is clearly visible. Clear call to action throughout the site. So here his contact us is also visible. Clear call to action throughout the site. And we scroll right down, contact form again. Here's another example. This is Patrick Deal. He's one of the leading labor lawyers in the whole of South Africa. So we do all his marketing for him. So same thing with him as well. You can see clearly, all the details are clearly visible. Clear call to actions as well. Even got a need help button here. Everything is the same, it's similar setup. And if we scroll right down to the bottom, here again, we can see that there's a contact form, so they can take the next step as well. Then the next thing I mentioned, I said that every website needs to have a funnel. Now, what is a funnel? Many people think that a funnel is something else or something other than a website. But basically, what a funnel is just a website that is getting people to take an action quicker. So, for example, I'm going to show you a real life funnel. So, if I type into Google how to create a website in South Africa, as you can see here, what I've done, I've typed in how to create a website in South Africa. And you'll see the first listing, it says AD. That means it's an ad by Google. Someone paid Google to rank there or to show up there. The second one is also an ad. And the third one is the first organic listing. And it so happens to be my listing. That means I wrote this article. So that means I rank number 1 in the whole of South Africa for this term. So if I click on it, it's actually going to take you to the article. And as you can see, it says here written by me. But what I want to show you here is I am actually showing people exactly how to create a website. Now, you might think that I create websites. Why am I showing someone exactly how to create a website? And if they follow this step by step, they will know how to create a website. Firstly, I don't mind because I'm leading with value first. So if they continue and they finish, they create the website for them, I'm very happy with that. I got no problem with that. But if they need help, the first person they're going to contact is going to be me. So if we scroll down this page, you'll see everything is a step-by-step guide. I'm not holding anything back. I'm giving them everything. So at the end of this, if they complete this whole thing, they will actually know how to create a website. But if you come right to the bottom, now you'll see I'm giving them a call to action here, and I'm telling them, okay, now we know that obviously they've read this whole article. So now they know about a website. What's the next step? The next step is they want that website to be found in search engines. So just like how they found me when they typed in how to create a website in South Africa, they found me first. So automatically they're going to know, I know what I'm talking about with regards to search engines. So the likelihood of them actually taking me up on this offer, and what am I offering? I'm telling them I'm going to give them a free guide to learn how to optimize their website for search engines. So the likelihood of them actually taking me up on this offer is much higher. So I'm going to click on it and you're going to see what happens next. So now first, you must remember, I led with value. I gave them a full tutorial on how to create a website. The next step, I'm still giving them more value. I still haven't offered them anything. Now, again, I'm telling them, I'm going to give them a guide on how to rank in search engines. But another thing you'll notice here, this actually is called a landing page. And on this page, you'll notice that now there's no navigation bar. It's like, previously on the other pages, we had home, about, product, services. Here, there's no navigation. The reason we do that is because here we want to have as little friction as possible. So we don't want to confuse them and give them too many options. Here we only want them to take one action, and that action is to enter the name, email, and we will give them the guide. So that's why there's no navigation bar at all. They can't even go back. So example, there's no logo here or anything. And if they scroll down this page, you'll see there's another call to action, but doing the same thing, asking them for name, email, download. And yeah, there's clients testimonials again, just to build more trust. So let's see what happens when we actually enter in the email address. So now, obviously, I led with value first, remember. So the likelihood of someone actually entering the email address is much higher because I've given them value first. And you must also remember something, like you see the first time when they typed in how to create a website in South Africa, and then they clicked on my link. That was the first micro commitment they made to me. Then the second micro commitment they made was they consumed that whole article. And then the third one was they clicked on the call to action where it said send me my guide. The fourth one was where they entered their email address and then they came here. So all these micro interactions is actually going to help us build trust because these are small commitments that they are making to us. And now you see on this thank you page, so after you enter the email address, you come to this page. Now it's saying your free guide is on its way. And it's saying that will be in the inbox. Now, this will also be automated. I don't have to go every time someone signs up, I have to go manually and send it to them. It's all automated. I will show you later on the software that you can use that's free as well, that you can do this. But what's the reason? I could have actually added this guide on this page. Like example, they could have entered their name, email, and then when they came to this page, I could have given them the guide. The reason why I don't give them the guide on this page is, firstly, they could have entered a fake email address. So for example, on the previous page, they could have entered test@gmail.com, for example, and they would have still came here. And if the download was on this page, they would have still got it, and I would have had no way of contacting them in future. Remember, by them giving you the name and email address, they are giving you permission to market to them in future. Right. So that's why we want to make sure that they give a valid email address, because what's going to happen, besides me giving them this guide, they're going to get a sequence of follow-up emails that I'm going to give them more value so I can build more trust. Basically, it's called a nurturing sequence. I'm actually going to show you an example at the end. I'm going to give you all a bonus where you can go through this whole system just to see how it works so you'll get a better understanding. But I'll give that to you at the end. So now another thing on the same page, I'm still telling them, wait, before you go, we have an awesome one-time offer just for you. And what is this? I'm telling them, I'm going to give them a deep dive website audit. I'm saying that the normal price is $9.99, but for now, at this time, I'm going to give it to them for $2.99. Now, already, because I led with value first, the likelihood of someone taking me up on this offer is much higher. I didn't immediately go and try and sell them. And another thing, I'm selling them something very cheap. So this is a low barrier to entry. Why am I doing something very cheap? If I had to now immediately go and offer them something for 10,000, 20,000, they never knew me a few minutes ago, and now I want to give them something for 10,000. So that's why I will try and find the cheapest thing just to get them to make the next commitment. And the next commitment is to take out the credit card, or to pay me in some way. So that's why I'm adding something that's very cheap, because most businesses will be able to afford $2.99. And this is actually called an upsell. A good example of an upsell that happens all the time is like seafood outlets like McDonald's or similar. When you go there, you tell them, example, you want a burger, they will try and upsell you. They'll ask you if you want fries with that, or you want a drink with that, or even if you buy a meal, they'll ask you if you want to upsize the meal. All that is an upsell. So the same thing, we are just doing the same thing, but we're doing it online. So what will happen here, see, even if someone takes me up on this offer for $2.99, on the next step, I can actually upsell them again. And the next one, maybe I can offer them something for 1,500 Rand. Again, I'm going slowly. I'm not going directly to my core offer. And then after that 1,000, I can upsell them again, maybe something for 5,000. And I can upsell them again up to 10,000. Remember, if they take me up on the offer, it's fine. If they don't take me up, it's still fine, because I'm clearly adding a button here as well. If they click on this, no thanks, my site is working fine, it's fine. It'll take them to another page. So this is a basic sales funnel. So you see, for example, even if I click on no thanks, what's going to happen is taking them back to my contact page. So, and this funnel is a sales funnel. Now you can even have a simple funnel. I'm going to show you another example. So for this client, he's a labor lawyer, as I mentioned. Now you see here, he's saying he's going to offer them a free consultation. So if you click on this, I need help. Now, this is a type of funnel as well. You can see now there's no navigation here. Now, the only action we want them to take is to enter the name, email, phone, and then they're going to get a video consultation. So this is a simple funnel as well. Once they click on this, there's going to be no upsell or anything. So every business has to have at least one funnel. You can have even more than one, multiple funnels, but at least one you have to have. And also, I mentioned about wording earlier on. Previously, on the same page, we had request a free video consultation. What was happening is, because of the word free, it was attracting the wrong type of audience. Now, also with leads, we don't want just a lot of leads. We want quality reads. We want quality rather than quantity. So by removing just one word, free, that we had here, now it says request a video consultation. So now the leads that come in are much more qualified. So now that we've gone through a website, the next step is, and which is also very important and people miss out, 95% of our clients, or even potential clients, don't even know what is Google Analytics. Or maybe they know what is Google Analytics, but they don't know whether it's on their site or not. So what is Google Analytics is actually going to tell you what people are doing on your site, how they're coming, and how they're coming to your site. All these are very important metrics because you need to know this so you know if you're doing something right or wrong. So I'm just going to go through this quickly with you because as you can see, there's a lot of metrics here and a lot of options. I don't want to overwhelm you. There's just three main things that we need to consider. So the first thing is this is your audience, the audience overview. So for example, this is saying you got 1,087 views to this page. So it's actually, let me just change the date and make it the last 30 days, last month. I'll click on apply. Sorry. So if I click on apply now, you'll see here that now in the last 30 days, this client had 4,432 people visit his site. And there's a lot of metrics here, but here as well, I'm just going to go through the most important ones. The next important metrics is 1.27 page session. That means people who landed on the website visited more than one page. So on average, it was 1.27. So obviously they like the content. That's why they're visiting more than one page. So most likely they visited a blog page or whatever it was, and then they maybe visited the contact page or about us page or whatever. And another important metric is average session duration. So on average, people spend 1 minute and 1 second on the website. So obviously people like the content, because if someone didn't like the content, they would have stayed no longer than maybe 30 seconds. Just like you and I, if we didn't like something, we'll leave much quicker. We won't wait after 1 minute and then leave. So that's also a valuable metric. Then we can even see from here what country people are viewing the site. Example, see, obviously majority is South Africa because that's our target audience, but you can see United States, Namibia, United Kingdom, Canada, India. There's many more countries here. You can even break it down to cities. So you can actually see exactly which city someone came from. So example, see, his most visited is from Cape Town, but it's actually Joburg because if you add Sandton, Pretoria, Johannesburg, Centurion, they're all in that area. Then we can even see what browser they were using, or we can even see what operating system or service provider. So the next important metric that we need to know is acquisition. That is, it's going to tell us exactly how people are coming to the site. So we know people are coming to the site, but now how are they coming to the site? So here it's telling us that organic search is sending the most amount of traffic. So most people are coming to the site via organic search. So they're getting 4,056 people from organic search. Direct means that people typed in the example isite.co.za, that's what's direct. Email, 19 came from that, social, 10, referral, 8. So even if I click on social, it'll actually tell me which social platform sent the traffic. So example here is saying Facebook sent 9, LinkedIn sent 1. So this is all valuable metrics that we need to know. The next one is behavior. So we need to know, now that we know how they came to the site, we need to know what they're doing on the site. So this will actually tell us which pages are the most viewed. You can even see how many page views for each page. Then another important thing, you can actually see the flow. So what this is, so example, if someone landed on this page, the home page, then they went to 41 people went to the contact page, 41 people went to this article, and so on. So we can see each step what they did. So this is also very valuable metrics that we need to know so that we can optimize our site better. Then you get another free service. And remember, Google Analytics is free. There's no charge for Google Analytics. Then another app from Google as well. I don't know why I didn't make it into one app, but it's called Search Console. So what Search Console will actually tell you what search queries, so what people have been searching to get to your site. So I'm just going to change this metric to last 28 days. So basically it'll tell you how many people visited your site again. But what's important here, this will tell us, you can see there's over 1,000 queries here. So I can enlarge it, but I'm just going to try and go through this quickly because I see time is going. So we can see exactly what terms people use to get to the site. But another important metric here is if you click on devices, it's going to tell us exactly what devices the people are viewing our site from. So example, on this site, it's saying 2,221 people came from a mobile device. 1,748 came from a desktop and 45 from tablet. That's why I said it's so important to make sure that your site is mobile responsive. I'm trying to go quickly through the next thing, which is Google My Business, which is also important. But I spend more time on website because you must remember your website is going to be the hub of all your marketing efforts. So even your Google My Business, your social media, email marketing, everything is going to lead back to your website because your website, that's what you're in control of. There you can get people to take the action you want to take. Example, Facebook, that is not your platform. So you are at the mercy of Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever other platform. That's why you want to send people back to your website. Now, in this example, I'm just going to show you one of our clients. They own a bed and breakfast in Ladysmith. So if you click on bed and breakfast in Ladysmith, you will see the first 4 listings. Firstly, these things look more appealing than your normal organic listing. So a likelihood of someone clicking on this is much higher. And these 4, if you are in these 4, then these will fluctuate. So you'll go from 1, 2, 3, 4, and it'll carry on changing. But as long as you're in this 4, that's where you want to be. So this client is Peaches and Cream. Now you can see another thing. If people see these 4 listings, Peaches and Cream has 204 reviews. So even if someone wanted to make a decision, now why they're actually showing up third here is because of the price. You can see the first one 450, then it's going higher, then 825, but it still fluctuates. Sometimes they'll work it on price, sometimes they'll work it on ratings, but as long as you're in the top 4, you are going to be noticed. Now, why we optimized the Google My Business listing so much? Because as you can see in the organic listings, here we got Safari Now, Booking.com, AfriStay, Rooms for Africa, Sleeping Out, TripAdvisor. So if we tried to compete with all those big directly listing websites, we wouldn't have been able to compete because they are too big and their budgets are too big. So how we are actually beating them is by actually optimizing a Google My Business listing. The Google My Business listing is actually free. I'm going to show you some insights that's actually going to blow your mind. Now this, remember, Google My Business listing has nothing to do with your website. It's something completely different. So if I go here to insights for this particular client, so it's saying in the last month, you can see this metric. It's saying in the last month, there were 7,783 searches. So if we didn't have a Google My Business listing, we would have potentially lost out on 7,783 people. It's saying total views was actually 13,000. 10,000 was on maps and listing on search. So we would have lost out on 13,000. But what is more important to us is the actual actions that they took on that Google My Business listing. So it's saying the total actions were 279. So that means that this Google My Business listing got 279 leads in the last month. And what did those people do? 51 went to the website. So we got a website for them. It's also optimized, but with them particularly, we are concentrating more on the Google My Business listing because it's getting more leads. So 51 visited the website, 128 requested directions, and 100 called them. So 279 leads they would have lost out on if they didn't have a Google My Business listing. Now, I hope you can see the benefit of having a Google My Business listing, something that's free, and majority of people don't even have it. And with the Google My Business listing, it's actually so powerful that you can add posts now. You can even add products. So see, for example, this is another client. And you'll notice throughout this presentation, I'm not showing you slides, I'm showing you real life examples. So these people are in Howick. And as you can see, this is Google My Business listing. We also do their website. But can you see here, it says products. So you can actually list products from your Google My Business listing. And different people will have different options. So even on the bed and breakfast in Ladysmith for peaches and cream, if you see correctly here, you can actually make a booking from the Google My Business listing. As you can see here, this is I clicked on the Google My Business listing. You can actually book a room from here. So that is the power of a Google My Business listing. The next thing is search engine optimization. Time is going, so I'm just going to try and go
Mohammed,
through this as
may I come
Ashraf.
in?
Yeah.
Look, we only have 5 minutes left, and I
Mm,
think you've done an invaluable job here. This is so, so tremendous, and I don't think one session is going to do justice
yeah.
to such an important topic. So, if I may request, if there's any, seeing that we only have 5 minutes, number one, if there's any other questions, and perhaps number two, if you would consent to coming back for a part two, because I think this is this is so important for every business. Um,
Yes, and because if I'm going to rush through it as well, people are
no,
not going to get the
not
benefit
going to
of
do
it.
justice to it.
Yes,
I must tell
definitely.
you, it was a huge learning curve, even for me. Um, the takeaways from what you've given here are just so tremendous. And I didn't even realize half of this stuff is free. And I think perhaps one of the
Yes,
biggest challenges that we as service providers or business owners have is that we don't have a dedicated in-house marketing team. What you put out here is fantastic. For me, it looks like you're going to have to have a dedicated person to do this in-house. Otherwise, it might be to outsource it. I see Mariska is also agreeing with us. Very, very beneficial. So I think in the 4 minutes that's left, if there's any pressing questions, unmute your microphone and come on. Otherwise, if you want to put it on the chat, please do so. Actually, now there's 3 minutes left. Mohammed, what I'd like you to do is just for a minute, give out your details, your proper, the easiest way. We know that you're on the website and it's click to call and all of that.
yeah,
But just give
yeah.
it to us, some
So,
old-fashioned
so
people.
the easiest way to contact me is via LinkedIn. If you search Mohammed Asma, that's the easiest way. But my email address as well is Mohammed MUHAMMAD at asmaldigital.com. But what I've got here, remember I mentioned I've got a bonus for you all. This is just something I want people to interact with. I didn't want to collect email addresses here, but the reason why I'm collecting the email address, I want them to go through this whole series. So if someone here, it says for Minara Chamber of Commerce viewers, it's saying 5 steps on how to acquire customers while you sleep. So if someone enters their name, email, and download the free guide, they'll actually get this guide and they'll get a follow-up sequence. I just want them to go through it to see what this whole thing entails. And this, you can find it at Minara, MINARA.asmaldigital.com. But what I will do is I'll actually leave the links in Facebook or YouTube, wherever the video will be uploaded.
Okay, Mariska, the link has been sent in the chat boxes, and then you can
Okay.
obviously call Minara direct or go onto the Minara website and have a look from there. So, Mohammed, just the other thing that I wanted to emphasize was or concentrate on. So, do you assist any clients? Is there any number or any industry that you're not assisting?
Basically, at the moment, we don't do e-commerce. We
Okay,
don't do
now
anything
just
for e-commerce. Yeah.
in 1 minute, just explain. I know what e-commerce is, but it's just explain that.
Okay, so e-commerce means if you're selling something online. So that means if you've got a shop where we do have clients where we were servicing before, and we're still servicing till now because they're old clients, but we're not taking any new clients, anyone that wants to have an online store, like maybe they've got 10, 20, 100, thousands of products as well. So we don't assist any e-commerce. And specifically, we try to work with service-based businesses. But what I've shared with you now is can work for any business.
Right. The other point I just wanted to touch on was security. I see that you were also selling something online for 299. So is there a security risk, or is there money back guaranteed, or is the purchaser protected by the Consumer Protection Act in the sense that If he doesn't like it, can he get his money back?
So you see that the beauty of this is, as you can see, I'm taking you, there's the page here. You can
Yeah.
see this is a pay now button, and this pay
Yeah.
now button is from pay fast. So the
Right.
actual transaction works with pay fast. So if the person who purchases something has any issue with it, they can contact pay fast direct. So
Okay.
even if I don't want to give them a refund, pay
Right.
fast can do their own investigation, and if they see that I didn't fulfill whatever I promised, they will give the customer back their money. So
Okay. So it's
the
a third
customer
party.
is guaranteed. Yes, it's a
Okay.
third
Great.
party that's going to be handling that. So we're not going to handle any information of any clients.
Okay. Mohammed, unfortunately, we've run out of time. A big
Mm.
thank you to you, a very, very valuable lesson, and a big thank you to Minara for arranging such a fantastic program. And to all of you that attended this morning, we know it's a midweek, it's 10 o'clock, and we know it's a budget later on today. So we're all getting ready for that. But thank you very much, and thank you one and all for attending. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah.